There are hauntings, and then there are hauntings. This one's the latter, and guys, it is so next level. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about Horror Mayhem Week 2, which for this week the theme was Gothic horror, and for my pick I chose The Haunting of Rookward House by our very own Australian horror author Darcy Coates. Now I hadn't read much of her work before. I do remember a couple of years ago reading her short story collection Small Horrors, and I remember being very impressed by that, and I was super keen to dig my teeth into one of her novels, and I certainly wasn't disappointed, because what she's done is she's taken a classic haunted house ghost story and flipped it on its head. So she hasn't followed the stock standard trope. She's created something original out of this, which I'll go through in a moment. So this book was about 280 pages, so a little bit over the 250 page designated length for the project, but there is an element of flexibility in this project, and I'm sure Scott and Becky Bryant, who created the project, won't mind me going over just that little bit. So let's start with what the story is about. So we have this young chap called Guy, and the story opens where he's destitute and he's jobless. He's staying with his mother, who is supporting him, and Guy is escaping an incident that involved his fiancée, where she got hurt, but we don't know why, and it's not revealed until later. So we find that Guy is helping his mum clean up the attic space and tidying up papers, and Guy happens to come across a deed to a house that his mum owns, that was handed to her by her father, or Guy's grandfather. It's a house located 4 hours away, and Guy decides, well, it's an opportunity for him to go and visit the house and see what kind of condition it's in, so that he can renovate it and hopefully sell the property, make a profit, move his mum out of her current house so they can both start a whole brand new life elsewhere, because the town they're staying in, Guy isn't regarded very well after this incident that happened, which Darcy Coates is great at slowly revealing details and just snippets, irresistible snippets that actually keep you reading, because you want to find out, oh, what's Guy running from? What did he do? And where does this guilt come from? And all is revealed in good time. So we see Guy travel to the house and start to make renovations, and he's doing it rough because there's no running water. He has to bring water with him and boil it up if he wants to make coffee, and he's eating just room temperature food out of cans. So he's really roughing it, and it's not long before a presence in the house makes itself known. And I find a really good plot device that Darcy uses in this is she's flipping back and forth between timelines of the present and a timeline in the 1960s, which involved a mystery surrounding the previous occupants, which was a family of 4. And Darcy pulls off a couple of flourishes with real finesse in this story, because she weaves the plot threads together really well. And the ghost, who goes by the name of Amy, it turns out that she was the mistress of Thomas, the father of the family, back in the 1960s. He used to work for a bank, and she was Thomas's boss's daughter, who he was having a fling with whilst still being married. And of course, when Thomas tried to break off the affair, Amy retaliated, and I won't reveal that in case you haven't read it, but it affects Guy in the present, and Amy's ghost actually haunts the house. But it's not your run-of-the-mill haunting where she goes boo, or simply rattles cupboards, and she's not really a poltergeist. She's actually a ghost who has certain powers which are unheard of for a ghost, because she can actually temporarily physically manifest and cause harm to Guy. She scratches his leg and really puts him through the ringer. But not only that, she actually has an influence over his mind. So at various points in the book, he doesn't know what's real and what's not, and he tries to escape her, and he can't stay in the house any longer after a while, as you can imagine. And when he tries to escape, his car won't work because Amy has conjured up grey spiders which have amassed in the engine block and won't start the engine. But it's revealed how this actually works later on in the book, and he finds himself heading off with a backpack, just the clothes on his back, and hopes to reach the main road where he can hitch a lift back to his hometown. But that's not the case. In true Twilight Zone fashion, her mind powers, the ghost's mind powers, actually cause him to walk in circles, and he thinks he's escaped, and he vaults a wall, and he thinks he's found freedom, but he's back at the house. So I really enjoyed that Twilight Zone kind of twist to the story, and the book had quite a few jump scares as well, which was great, and how Amy the ghost interacts with the real world, and the revelation at the end as to why she's haunting the house is revealed. So overall, it was a fantastic book. It was a great read. It was very, very well written. She weaves plot lines together really well, and the quality of her writing is exceptional. It's just really, really polished, and she describes scenes and environments in really good detail without info dumping you, and her characters are very well drawn, and you couldn't help but just want to finish it and get to the end and find out what actually happens, and find out why things happened the way they did. So that is it for Horror Mayhem Week 2, guys. I am looking forward to Horror Mayhem Week 3. The theme for that week is cosmic horror, and I'll be reading Agents of Dreamland, which it's a subgenre I haven't read before, and I'm really looking forward to it. This project, Horror Mayhem, I'm enjoying it a little bit more than February Fantasy Stories. I had a couple where I didn't actually finish what I was reading that month, and I think because I've chosen short novels this time, I'm more engaged. I find that I've really got to be in the mood for short stories, and picking short novels I thought was definitely the way to go this time, and I certainly haven't regretted it. I've finished 2 books already, and I plan to finish 2 more to close out the project. So look for the week 3 video, which will come out hopefully mid to late next week, and I'll also be doing, of course, my weekly update on Sunday. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe, offer any feedback in the comments below, and until next time, see you later.